Hi everyone, welcome back again to the second episode of Noob to Pro in Tribal Wars. And so, today, as you already know about the basics of the game, you know how the units work, I wanted to talk about something else instead, which is obviously also important, which is just the general interface of the game, um, and about the premium functions. So, I have some videos on these things, which I will link. But I wanted to go through them again because in some other videos I recorded them in the Italian server, so it may be strange for you guys that obviously don't speak Italian to look at the settings for the first time and things like that and see it in Italian. That would be kind of strange. So let's take a look at it now. I just joined some random world. Okay. Um, well, here there is nothing that is that significant. For worlds, this setting is important. The ignore incoming troops, because if you know an attack is a fake, you can just ignore it. Um, you can enable attack sound if you want. That's not bad. Welcome page is useful, especially if you're playing a speed round. You can click on it to see the looted resources. But if you are playing in a good server, you will be able to see the achievements and you'll be able to see how much farm you have through there. Um, Chat enabled. You can choose to remove it. I always remove it. I always just click here. Chat is done because it's minus one thing appearing in your screen. So yeah, that's nice. Um, these things are the info you share with your tribe. If you're planning on playing speed worlds, this is useless mostly. For normal worlds, it is very important, yes. But that's something you can also look at. It's very clear. Um, Headquarters settings is something that you can decide what you choose here. I just keep everything default. I don't think it makes that big of a difference. And the overviews as well, the graphical settings, the map, these things, I don't really touch them a lot. They are a bit useless. This is just account stuff. Um, Nothing really is that important here. Besides the quick bar. The quick bar is important, but as you see, you need to have a premium account. And I do not have it, which is something I will want to talk about after showing you everything, just so you know you are able to see the difference between having a premium account or not. So now, well, there's nothing really that important here. You can come here to see the leaderboard. I guess that's significant, yes. But besides that, there's not that much. There's reports, which you'll find the information. Like if you attack someone, this is where you'll find the outcome of the battle. You have the mail, which is where you have your messages. Um, there really is not much more important things. Obviously, the map is very relevant. You can just look at what's near you. These grayish villages are abandoned villages. These ones as well. So yeah, you can attack them for receiving resources for free, and you'll know they will never have defense, unless it is possible to attack outside of the tribe, which is a bit annoying if it is. But yes, um, these also sort of invisible looking villages are players that are still under protection, so you cannot attack them. And it says when. So as you see, this target is still under beginning protection. You will be able to attack him tomorrow at 17:22. And this exists for every village that has protection. Or if you're playing in some other specific world, you might have some villages grayed out because of ratio protection. For example, in casual worlds, which are supposed to be more friendly worlds to a bit more experienced players or just players with less time, people that have 10 times more your points or 10 times less or something like that, you just can't attack them. Or even like 2 times more points. I have no clue, but it's something like that. Um, in the map, this is pretty much all. You can click on a village to to attack with the loot assistant templates. which is not something we have either. Why did I say either twice? Which is not something we have either here. Um, I won't buy it here, but yeah. Then you can send troops, you can send resources, and you can see the village information. And the village information basically just lets you do those things. You can send troops to the rally point here, though. It's pretty much the same thing in terms of functionality, because here you have this overview. But the idea is pretty much the same. That's pretty much all for the map. Overviews, it tells you nothing in this mode. Without premium account, overviews are completely useless. It's just sad. It just tells you this. That's all. If you have premium account, it will tell you so many more things. It will tell you the troops you have per village. It will tell you. It will enable you to research things in all the villages. It will enable you to build things in all the villages. It is so much more useful. And so I'll stop wasting time and we'll go right away to talking about premium account and the things that come with it and why you should buy it, because you should. And how do you do that though? In Worlds, as I've shown you in the previous video, there is the premium exchange market. You can simply upgrade your resources, your mines, for a bit, like 1-2 days, and then you can just sell them in the premium exchange, and you'll get premium points back. So you can get premium points for free, and as in speeds, you don't really spend that many premium points anyway. You can just make like 1k or something like have on this account, and after that you don't have to worry about premium anymore, basically. So here, why is there no farm assistant in this? That's sad. Okay, I'll show you the premium account. Let's buy it for 3 days, but before that, let's see this overview because you can see what it gives you. Um, Speed up your playing without countless inconveniences, etc. etc. More construction slots, which is it's relevant, but it's not that relevant. Many map improvements. This is very true. It is so much more smooth with premium account. Improved village overview. That's also true, and I'll show you after what that means. And much more. Let's see everything. This is it. This is what they mean. Um, with the extra construction slots, you can have more than just 5, but after that you need to pay an extra cost. It begins at 25%, I think, then 56, something like that. Lots of improvements on the map. This is you will also see this, because now if I attack a village, let's make some troops here. Now if I attack this village, there's nothing appears on the map, like nothing. I have no information about this still in the map. But if I go to the reports, I can see that I lost the attack, right? But it requires me to do so much more work. And with this, I will have so many more info. Look, last attack, red. It shows you that you lost the last attack. Red attack means you lost. Yellow means you had losses. Or someone who attacked you had losses. And the the green attack means it went through without any losses. So basically the farm attacks, you want them to be green. This round is a bit strange because it starts with a low village, but it also starts with wall. So yeah, it's very strange. But yeah, this is also so much better. As you can see a lot of info here. You can see for how long the things are producing, the HQ, the barracks, the workshop, etc. You can also see how many merchants you have at home, and you can also see how long until the warehouse is full. It's also very nice. Here, from the information screen of a village, you have access to the notebook. You have access to seeing how many attacks there are. You can share your commands with premium account to play as a team better and be able to coordinate attacks. You can look. This is what I was talking about. There is so many more things about managing multiple villages better with this as well. Um, this is not significant at all. Um, but yeah, this is whatever. But yeah, you can customize your profile. Quick bar is not whatever. Quick bar is very important, and I will talk about it at some point. Um, and yeah, you can have filters in the reports and things like that. So let's just buy it, and I will show you in practice and tell it about the differences it makes. As you can see instantly here, we've unlocked something that appears above the village. Instantly, what does this allow you to do? It allows you to click buttons in your keyboard. 1 for headquarters, 2 for recruit, 3 for academy, 4 for smithy, 5, 6, you get the point. It saves you some time. Of course, it's not wow, so much time saved, but for speeds, it is very, very important because it just saves you so much time. It really is a deciding factor between the fastest and the slowest players on speeds. That's just how fast you can do those things. Switch between overviews. So yeah, you can also click V for village, but I think you can do this without premium account as well. That's not a point. And M for map. Those are the two other shortcuts that exist. There are no more shortcuts because I don't know why. I that there should be. Yeah, there should be more customizations, but well, they they just haven't put the effort in doing it, whatever. So we have to play like this. And yeah, that's the first part. And you can obviously customize that, which I will talk about soon. Maybe only in the next video though. But for now, I wanted to focus on seeing the differences in everything with premium account. So as you can see, before we used to hover in a village and would see nothing. Here, you see a lot of things. You see, look, you see the units? That's the amount of time it takes for, well, you to attack the village. So it's such a good way for you to guide yourself in just attacking people. You say, I want to attack someone with a certain unit. Let's see, I want to attack this player. Look, there's all the info there. Damn, that's actually sad. 3 minutes to attack someone in a speed. 8 minutes to attack someone in a speed. Anyway, yeah, it is very, very useful. And it's a game changer. Especially this last attack thing. Because if you are attacking from the farm assistants and things like that, sometimes you may not know, oh, this is cool. Action is blocked. I'm requesting too many things. I'm AFK hovering on things. Anyway, yeah, there is not much info you have access to when you don't have premium account. But like this, it is so much better. As you can see, last attack, um, if I was playing this round, for example, I would be able to see the last attack, and if the last attack was yellow, I would want to attack it so that it becomes green with rams to ram the wall down, as you've heard in the previous video. Rams do that. Um, and so that I would have no losses farming, for example. That's a good way for you to know which villages you should attack. So that's very nice. Um, that's pretty much everything for the map changes. It is a game changer though. The first time I found out about this, it was like I was playing a world, and I was way younger, obviously. Um, and some guy, I sent sitter to some guy, and he bought a premium account on my account. And when I came back, I had all of those things in the map, and I was like, wait, what the fuck happened? What settings did he enable here? And only later did I find out that was premium account. That was pretty funny. Um, what more do you have access to? Well, as it showed you, you know when something is building. You know the amount of time until the warehouse is full. Here. That's pretty much all for these overviews here. It's not that big of a difference. The reports, you have access to so many more things. You have access to filters. If you don't want to get reports about something, you can just filter it here. Um, it's pretty nice overall. What more can I talk about here? I can talk about overviews, and as you can see, this is completely different from not having premium account. Here, combined, you have first of all, you have the option to sort from groups, and these are the default groups, but there are more groups than just these. Um, Here you can see just so much more. You can sort for the resource production and the constructions, the research, the recruitment, the transports, troops, commands, incoming. There are so many things here. You can even sort your villages by groups, manual groups, dynamic groups, everything. I talked about all of that in another video, which I will link below in the description. So you should check it out because it really is important, especially if you're managing multiple villages at once. This is very important. Um, there's also the account manager. I also have made a video about that. It basically makes some things automatic for you. There are things that are completely useless. This is useless. Um, this is useless. This is basically useless. But the troop manager and the construction manager are very useful, and just for that, it's worth by it for sure. Yeah, this is also useless. But yeah, it is not too hard to work around with these things, and I think you'll easily just learn about it, and yeah, you'll know how it works. So now let's see if I know someone here, if I can tell them to attack me, because there is also something else I would like to show you. I don't think I know anyone here. Anyway, um, something that I wanted to mention in this episode as well is outside of the game. So let's go to outside of the game. You have all of these settings here, and some things I would like to talk about here. Forum, you can find some things here. You can find, for example, the scripts that are allowed, which I will talk about now as well. Scripts and internal independent tools. You can find most of them in the .NET forum, but each forum in each server has their own script section. The .NET one is the most complete one, and generally all of the scripts here are allowed in any other server. You have this outwards a script to the quickbar, which I will talk about now. You have a lot of things here. So quickbar, quickbar. Um, well, for worlds this is significant, but it may not be the most important thing ever. For speeds, it is very important. It is very important. So as you can see, this is where you can control those things that I was talking about earlier. The clicking one to go to the headquarters, two to go to recreating page, things like that. And this recruiting page is something that you do not have access at all. If you don't have premium account. If you don't have premium account, you have to come back to the village and go to the barracks and go to the stable and go to all of those recruiting villages also those recruiting sections at once. But in recruit, you have access to all of the troops. Here, the village is too small, so yeah. But you can also see that it's different here. If I go to this, there's only one option. This, there's way more things. So it also gives the option to decommission troops. Like you can literally just kill the troops. If you have too much space used in your farm, for example, and you want to get rid of troops, you can do this. Simple. And you can also mass recruit. This helps you a lot in multiple villages. And you can obviously set by group, and you can make more groups, as you will see in that other video that I linked in the description. Um, there are a lot of things, and a lot of them are useful. And now we'll go over to the quickbar again, and I will show you. For example, you are going through the forum, you see approved private, not private, approved public scripts, you see something that you like. So for example, I don't know, incomings overview. No, I don't have any incoming. Um, coordinate map picker, sure. We get this. You copy the script. What do? You click add new link. Target URL is the script. Entry name is whatever you want it to be. And if you want to optimize it, you can set a keyboard shortcut to it. For example, market. you can set the 6 and you can remove the hotkey for market, which is not that useful. You don't really need the hotkey for market or for rally point, for example. And I can just save it like this. I can go to map. Let's use the script. And it lets me select villages. I'll select this, for example. And yeah, this is a nice script. It just lets me collect the coordinates. See? I can set by the specific card, the codes. I can tell them to make me a list. Scripts are all very useful. They all do something that is significant. So you should take a look at them. You should take a look at what you need. For speeds, I have a full list of that, both in my Discord. And if you want a full list explaining everything, you can go to the speed world section here on net, and you have these two topics by me. This topic is useful. But the most important one is this one. You have a full list of all of the scripts here and an explanation pretty much on how everything works. Yeah, everything is here. I will not talk about this now, but that's very important and you should look at it. I will also leave the link for that in the description. But I also have a video here on YouTube where I talk about the scripts. So it's just something I'm asked over and over again because it's something so important for speeds, which is what I play mainly. And so I just end up doing these things. And so if anyone asks me about it, I just link them this. It's the simplest way. Um, so now I will also talk about something else. These things here, these three settings, they may seem useless, just like a lot of the settings, but they are not. Reset quick bar is simply just reset. The save quick bar as a global template is very important because let's say you are a speed player. You want to look at these scripts and you say, okay, well, I like this script, I like this one, I like this one, and yeah, seems useful to me. Let's add them here. And so you add them here, but then, as you know, each speed round only lasts a short amount of times. For example, this one 4 hours. Which would mean that if I do not save it as a global template, I would lose all of the work that I did, and I would have to do it again and again and again. And even for worlds, you want to save things as a global template. You want to have your own default model because it just saves you so much time. And now, as you can see, I already have a global model, a global template. So we'll just load quickbar model, and as you can see, everything is here. I have everything sorted. These scripts are some scripts that you'll also find here. This one is just the link to go to the farm assistant. So I click 3 and I'm on the farm assistant. I don't have it here, but I would go there if I had it. The FA key is the farm assistant script. It's a key press. You will learn more about it in this topic or just in the other video. Rename it back time. If you are getting an incoming attack, you just rename it and you know which unit you are getting attacked with. If you have premium account, if not, you can't rename your attacks. So be careful with that. That's also something premium account comes in handy for. Um, you can just rename attacks with the back time, so you know when to attack your enemies back. There is also a video about back time that I have. I'll leave that there. I can quickly just show you like tribalwars back time. Let's see. Oh, it's in Portuguese. Well, that's a rip. Anyway, I will talk about that in some other video when I talk about the mechanics of the game. Yeah, I have all of these scripts here and I have my own shortcuts, everything set up for that. And that just with one click from loading the global quickbar. So you should look at this. You should, what the fuck is that? You should set this up so that you don't have to do it every single time. But you obviously need premium account. And now some worlds are going to open, especially in the servers that speeds are relevant like Italy, which is the server where I'm a speed admin on. It's bugged for me. I need to wait a bit. Oops. Okay. A new world will open, so you can just make premium points there if you wish to play speeds, and if you want to start playing speeds or something, you can just make premium points there. It's definitely very useful, and you will need it. As you can see, the difference between playing with and without is ridiculous. Um, what else did I want to talk about here? Well, if you want to play speeds, this is where you'll find them. Speed rounds appear. Oh, I'm in the Italian server. That's fine. In most of them, you can find a lot of info. I mean, it depends from server to server. On .NET, you see this. That's all you see. It's not very welcoming. But here, you just see everything, every single possible setting, and we even have a description. We have in English and there is in Italian. There is a lot of things. You can see this is the current round. You can see the previous rounds here, and you can see the the standings. You can see the defeated opponents rank. You can see the tribe ranks. You can see those things here, and yeah, you can just scroll down. You can have fun looking at all of this. Um, you can even go back to the first rounds ever. It's something fun to do, and you can just look at this, and yeah, you can see a lot of things. You can see how things have evolved. The descriptions going from basically nothing to this now so complex, and it has everything. Yeah, you can see it's fun. Like now, for example, you see there's no rounds planned. That's going to change, but yeah. Um, this is where you see all of the info for speeds. Some may redirect you to some topic in the forum, like this, where it tells you the full settings are here. It's the same thing as in the .NET server. You click here and you see the settings. ID is pretty much the same. And yeah, here you can see the start level, whatever. Yeah, this varies from server to server. There's servers that don't put that much info. Here, for example, PT. It has some info, yeah. It used to be worse before. But in Romania, for example, it doesn't say everything you would like it to say. And here, for example, like it all says a lot, but it's not that much if you go compare it to some other servers. Like here, CZ, it's not that many things. It shows you some info, but it's not everything. But yeah, depending on the server, things are different. But nowadays, most of the things are well done in every single server. The settings are clear. Here in Spain, for example, there's not many things. It's only like 6 settings. But yeah, it depends from server to server. See this one, the description is it tells you no info. Um, it depends from server to server, and that's something you'll also see. We'll go back to .NET now, so that this interface is easier. The rules is something important, obviously. You should obviously take a look at it. It's not the first thing that people do, which is understandable. Um, and the rules vary from server to server, but they're mostly similar, right? So if you read it on net, it's similar, very similar to every other server. And the last thing I wanted to mention here from the world's the things that you can find here is the world info. You can have access to guest access to all of the worlds by here. So imagine I want to see what's happening in the speed server. I'll click in the speed server, I'll click guest access, and I can see, oh, this player is in first, this player is in second, etc, etc, etc. It's very nice because it also gives you info, like the world stats. Look, this is something I use a lot for speeds. For example, in private rounds, we use this to just have an idea of how many troops we all have. It's very nice. Um, you can see all of this. You can see the settings. Again, sometimes the settings in the description might be wrong, but if you see them here in the world settings, they are never wrong. Um, and yeah, And something I would also like to talk about to finish this video. Well, I also want to mention the support. This is where you can open the support tickets. You can select categories and worlds and things like that. I won't talk too much about that. But something I wanted to talk about now to finish this video is the different settings and how they impact the game. So I want to show you this, but I'll show you this in a more in a simpler way, because you can see the settings here, but there are settings that are not shown here, sadly, in this world settings page. But there is something that I have made in Italy that lets you see all of the settings that are possible. So here, here. This is in the Italian forum. You can find it in tribalwars.it. Oops. Tribalwars.it, and you have everything. It's the interface is the same for every single server. So if you know where things are in the .NET server, the buttons, you know it anywhere. On the .NET or on the .pt or on whatever, it's the same in every single server. So it doesn't really matter. So here, what do we have? We have everything explained, every possible setting basically. This is the winning conditions, and I'll go through them quickly. Um, this is mostly for speed rounds, but it also works like this in worlds. But in worlds, there are more complex winning conditions. You can have different modes. You can have rune winning conditions. You can have just domination. There are a lot of different things. And if you are playing worlds, I suggest you to take a look at what the win condition in your round is. For example, here in this world, Rune Wars. So, Rune Wars, what is this? It explains you a bit here, but I would always suggest you to just Rune Wars here, look for it, Rune Wars, Tribal Wars, and you'll probably find like a forum topic that explains you something else about it. Um, you'll find things um, about it. Here, what's this? This is strange. Um, you can also probably find things like that about that in the help section. I'm not sure. There are some things in the help section, but I don't know if this look. It's pretty much pointless. Um, but yeah, I don't know how often this is updated. Probably not often at all. But that exists. But if you are playing in a world, I would suggest you to look at this, because it's not something you always have to look at. You don't always need to know everything about every single win condition if you aren't playing a world with those things. But in speeds, it's different. In speeds, you can have different win conditions in a span of like 2 hours, because you can have 1 hour rounds and things like that. And you can obviously see that in the programming. Or if you want to see the speed rounds in every single server, you can go to this website, twspeeds.com, and you see every single round that is going on in every server that has speeds, and the future rounds as well. So that's very nice. Um, let's go back to this. The winning conditions most commonly found in speeds. We can obviously also find the same things as in worlds, these complex things. But the speeds are supposed to be fast. We don't really do anything like this. It's a bit too complex, and it would require the game to go on for longer. It's a bit strange, but well, if there is interest for it, we can think about it. But here, as you can see, classic win condition is points, either in tribe or in as a player. Bash is opponents defeated. Villages is obviously, yeah, villages. King of the Hill is a big village is made on the map by the administration, and you have to hold it or to just conquer it. Um, and whoever has that village wins, or whoever has the most of those villages wins, things like that. Specific, which is, for example, some rounds where you have to build up your village up to the maximum points, and whenever you get it, it ends. That's the specific win condition. Conditional is something also very specific. You have to be as close as possible to a certain number of points and villages. Maintenance, just holding It's not called maintenance. There's no specific name. That's the name I gave it. But yeah, it's holding a number of villages or points for an amount of time, and randomly assigned tribes can have a completely different impact on the round. The win condition is obviously being in the winning tribe and stuff like that. But yeah, here is the settings in general. All of the settings that you can find in any world or any speed round. These are the possibilities for speed rounds, obviously, and it's built around that. So if you want to, you can look at all of this. I won't talk about everything, but you can look at all of this. I will leave the link for this in the description, and yeah, you can see all of this, and you can find out more about the info you would have to know about a speed round, because these are the settings that you will find. Let's say you go .NET. Let's go to the round description. You can find these settings here. Still, they don't tell you a lot. They don't tell you a lot of settings here. But if you go to Italy, for example, this current round, they tell you a lot of things. But then you look at this and you see level of buildings n0, and you're like, oh, what's this? What does this mean? What's the impact of this in round? And yeah, if you read all of this, this is the first point. Um, you can easily see what that means. It's in this link, all of the levels. As you can see, level 0, 26 points start. You have the buildings that it starts with. There are a lot of things you can explore. This is of course, there are not that many settings because this game is old, but there are a lot of things we can tweak around, and it's still pretty fun, at least to me, and I'm sure it will be for you too if you are interested in this game. But yeah, like for example here, fake limit 1%. What's the importance that this has on the game? You won't know if you don't know the setting, which I explain here. Fake limit. Um, yeah, the biggest point of this is just so that people cannot spam. So you can send attacks if they have the number of units that is correspondent to 1% of the points of your village. So for example, if you have 1000 points, you can send 10 units in an attack. Um, and yeah, you can find more of those settings all in this doc that I will also leave in the description. And yeah, I will leave you with this for now for this video. And if you have any doubts, of course, comment down there. Join the Discord server. Ask us questions. We're always there to clear out any doubts that you might have. So we will see you there. And I hope this was enjoyable for you to watch, and I hope it helped. And yeah, I will see you there. And thank you for watching. Bye bye.